Hi, my name is Judge Ann Lazarus, and I'm running for the Superior Court. You've asked me about the high rate of juvenile incarceration, including juveniles facing life without parole sentences, and what I could do about that. Because I'm running for the Superior Court, there's very little that I can do as a Superior Court judge. As you know, the Superior Court actually reviews what the trial court will do and makes a determination as to whether or not what happened at the trial court level is fair. Our job is to review the record and make sure that the judge or the jury applied the correct law to the facts and made sure that the facts that were relied upon were actually facts that were introduced in the case, and that overall the case is fair. So in that context, what I could do to make sure that juveniles aren't sentenced to an inappropriate sentence is to make sure that what was done at the trial level was a fair trial, and that the judge didn't sentence outside the sentencing guidelines that are appropriate for the various charges that were appropriate for this defendant. But you really raise a much greater issue with regard to juvenile incarceration, and that involves a socio and economic issue in terms of the disproportionate number of juveniles who end up, once they're in the juvenile system, in a life of crime. And that has to be addressed not only by the courts, but the courts in partnership with our schools and with parents who are raising young children. And only if we can work in a partnership between the courts when a child gets into trouble and the parents and the school systems can we hope to effectuate something that's better for our children and keeping going through an open door that's the court system.
Okay.
Right.
Whenever you're ready for the second one.
Recidivism is truly a major problem in all of the criminal courts throughout the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. One of the problems that we have is that we build prisons instead of building schools. And so we get prisoners instead of scholars. It's also a socioeconomic problem. But if we don't make sure that we have prepared those people who have done their time to re-enter society and become a productive part of society, all that we're going to do is have them back in our courts again and again and again. The way to deal with that is to make sure that if someone has done a crime, we differentiate between whether or not that person has the ability to be rehabilitated, or that person has done such a heinous crime that we really need to keep them incarcerated for a very long time. For those people, and that's the majority of people, I think, who have not committed such heinous crimes, we have to deal with the possibility and the eventuality that they're going to come back into our society. If they're going to come back into our society as citizens, we need to encourage our legislatures to make sure that the prisons provide the right training so that these people can be productive parts of our society. And we need to encourage employers and schools, all sorts of different type of job training programs to take these people and give them a chance, making sure that they have the opportunity to live a life that's not based on crime, because a person's got to make a living and have a job. If they can't do it legally, they're going to do it illegally. So if we don't face those facts and deal with those facts and prepare our prisoners for re-entry into society, all that we're going to have eventually is having them come back before the courts or our parole system, because they won't have been able to enter our society in any type of good fashion.